wanted a career. I wanted to be part of the Canadian Forces. I had a background in cadets, and I had worked as a staff at cadet camp. So I kind of had a little background of what that was about. And that's what I wanted to do. I want to work my way up through the ranks and hit the highest rank I could get, I guess, during my career with the forces. And I knew I was going to be a military police officer, and I was proud of that. I loved being a police officer. I loved doing community police work. Sports were a large part of it. Fitness, of course. I was a member of debate teams. I did temporary duty at the drop of a hat. I thought I had everything going for me. In June of 1981, I was reported or informed upon by another MP that I was in a homosexual relationship. And from June until December of 1981, I languished as a non-entity, I guess, on the base until I was kicked out. The Canadian Forces did a good job of making sure that once you were reported as being gay, lesbian, that you were isolated. Everybody else was afraid for themselves. No, we didn't have a lawyer. My God, no. We were told that, you're released. There were no avenues of appealing. I was totally lost. I was horrified, devastated. My soul was ripped out of me. My whole identity was gone. I had no idea what I was going to do when I got home, because I had to reinvent myself. I was lost. It was the hardest, most difficult time of my life up until that point. I was hospitalized after my MP credentials were taken away. My badge, access to the guardhouse, access to patrol duties. I was hospitalized. I don't know if I was suicidal. I was in a hospital for a week. I don't remember much of that period of time. My mom was my saving grace. Here comes the tears. She said, it doesn't matter what you do with your life, your father and I will love you anyway. So that made it so much easier for me to be who I am today, was Mom's words. I applied for the provincial police force. I had a very glowing letter of recommendation from my commanding officer of my unit, but they couldn't correlate the recommendation and the letter and how well I was doing as a police officer to why I left. And I couldn't explain it. How do you explain that you lost one job because you're gay or you're lesbian? You're not going to come out at that time, especially in the early 80s, and tell them you're homosexual, because there were no rights. There was nothing safe. I didn't get the job. So what do I tell my parents? What do I tell my friends? I'm tired of hiding, I guess. My family and my partner's family, I mean, we've been together 38 years, so they know. But I guess I was just tired of hiding behind everybody else. It was time to step up and speak out so that others coming up behind us. I mean, the younger homosexual community, they enjoy so many more freedoms, but they don't know the history. And especially in the military, they don't know the history. It was a horrible, horrible time in people's lives. People died because of it. It's not just moving on to another career. Our whole beings were ripped out. Our whole identities were taken away from us. It's just that it's very important that the history of the discrimination by the Canadian government, and not just by the forces, by the Canadian government, that it's recognized and that it's out there. I was in Ottawa. for the apology, and it was dreamlike. It was surreal. It was 37 years of not being recognized, not my service not being acknowledged in a favorable way, of telling people I was just tired. I just didn't want to be there anymore. I it was such a relief. It was it was my God, my heart breaks even thinking about it today. It's still unreal. It's good to know that good is not even a word. It's amazing that it was finally that the apology was finally out there. Um, yeah, I guess that's all I can say about that. It's hard to explain that deep emotion that I had at the time.